Back. Now we're going to demonstrate fabricating a flat 90-degree bend in 100mm light gauge tray, as I've got before me here. First of all, we start by getting it nice and secure in the bender, in the vise rather. You all realise that. And then we measure the midpoint of the bend, mark it, use our engineer square. Draw a line in pencil on the midpoint of the bend. And now we're going to draw two further lines outside of this bend, and they're going to be 70mm either side of the bend. Now there is a formula, if the tray is slightly bigger, to work out the spacings we need. But for the purpose of bending a 100mm tray, it's 70mm either side of the midpoint of the bend. So measure that, mark it, and once again with an engineer square, so now we should have three lines on the back of our tray, two outside and one in the middle. The two outside lines rather, we're going to cut down all the way from one lip down to the other lip, but leaving it on. I will demonstrate what I mean by this when we get a bit closer. So first things first, we're going to cut using our hacksaw. We cut on the line as well. Try and make sure the tray is nice and secure, because it will make our cutting easier and straighter. Try and keep it relatively slow angle and nice and slowly, allowing the hacksaw to do the work. And once we've cut our first line, it should look something like that, and then we're to repeat the process down the other outside line. And when we've cut our second line, it should look something like that. Next thing we need to do before we go much further is remove the burrs. It up slightly, not a lot, because the more we move this tray backwards and forwards, the weaker we're making our joints. So just move it as little as possible, and then run our file along the side, ensuring that any burrs are removed. Repeat the process. Obviously we do have to open it up quite a bit in this instance, so we're not going to remove all the burrs properly. Turn it over onto its back. And when we're happy that we've deburred it, not everybody's choice, because you might end up cutting yourself, but I like to run my finger down it. And if it's nice and smooth, then we've done enough. And repeat the process for the second cut. Once we've deburred our edges, nice and smooth, the next stage is beginning to form the flat 90-degree bend. So what we do is we bring one of our outside lengths and bring it in until it meets the line we made in the middle, our midpoint of the bend. And then we do this, repeat the process with the other side. And when we've got it there, we need to take off some of the lip of our tray. So what we do is we mark it where we're removing it from. The two outside pieces until they meet the midpoint of your bend as demonstrated here. And once you've done that, mark the point at which the two lips meet each other on the tray as I have demonstrated there with the black lines. And the next stage is removing these 4 pieces of lip so we can put the tray together and form our flat 90. We're going to do this using our file and using a bit of the old hand action. Now this is not something you can over-file, because what we're looking for is to bend it backwards and forwards using a pair of pliers, and the more we file it, the cleaner the cut and the easier it becomes. Right, so once we've done that, we grab our pliers, bring it backwards, forwards till it's removed, putting our spare in the bin, and once again filing off any sharp edges we may have created until we can run our finger down it and it feels smooth. We're then going to repeat the process for this, this and this. And once we've finished removing all our edges, our tray should look something like this. We also need to make sure we've filed it all so it's nice and smooth, so we can run our finger down it. And the next stage is bringing our 2 bits together, or all our bits together, to form our 90-degree bend, so it looks something like that. And we're going to fix this together using M6 roofers. The next stage is fixing our tray together, and to ensure that our flat 90 is a 90, we put it against something that we know to be 90 degrees and mark if we need to put any holes in it. And in my instance, I do need to drill some holes in it. If you can see where I put my black felt tip, that's where I'll be drilling it for my fixings. Once we've fixed it together, it should look something like that. Now you may feel you need to secure it with more than 2 roofers, and if you do, that's fine. Obviously be sensible, and I think you'll agree that's one sick right angle bend.